What is up, everybody? And thanks for joining us back here at Crypt Chronicles, where we talk tech, life, culture, and crypto on the regular. My name's Mark, and I'll be your host on this video today. Guys, today we have an exclusive interview once again, and our guest is Nimrod May, who is the CMO of SIRIN Labs. Now, if you're not familiar with SIRIN Labs, they're creating the first blockchain cell phone. And we'll go a little bit more into that in just a moment. So, Nimrod, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and chat with us on Crypt Chronicles. And thank you again for this, man.
Well, my pleasure and my honor, and thank you for having me on your great channel.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't we get started? You give me just a brief background about you, maybe how you got involved in crypto, and how you fit into SIRIN Labs overall.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I wear two hats. One is a passionate marketeer. I've been doing marketing for almost 20 years now. Either if it was my own startups that I co-founded throughout small and big enterprises such as Disney. Back in 2007, I started rolling myself from one startup company to the other, since Israel is known to be the startup nation.
Oh yeah.
And it also got me very enthusiastic about investing in companies or helping companies get funded. So I did a lot of investment banking for many years, raised about $20 million, did 3 years of venture capital for an Israeli-based VC. And as much as venture capital is a amazing thing to do, and it's a lot of responsibility, and it's a big challenge trying to find who's going to be the next Facebook, Google, Uber,
right.
Whoever.
Yeah.
It's still it's like being in the air traffic control tower rather than piloting a plane, and I'm all for pilots. So I'm back in the marketing chair. I've been launching several companies, mainly out of Israel. One of them is an Uber-like company called Get. It's a $2 billion company,
cool.
Operating in Russia, UK, Israel, and now growing very nicely in the States as well.
Awesome.
And many other companies. I've joined SIRIN Labs a year and a half ago because I was missing the consumer electronics parts of my entire work experience. And SIRIN Labs was founded back in 2013 for the purpose of developing the most secure mobile phone in the world, targeting the ultra high net worth individual, trying to basically offer them a very, I would say, luxurious, exclusive, prestigious kind of device.
The Silurian, right?
Yeah, the Silurian. And actually I have one right here with me.
Oh, wow. That's a $13,000 phone, I believe.
The price range is between $13,000 to $20,000. Let me get it out of my bag.
Yeah, I did a little investigating as well. I checked out the Silurian. That's a pretty impressive device. Definitely one of a kind. You don't have any other phone like that on the market.
Yeah, so basically that's a Silurian. I don't know if you see the gold-plated titanium panels. This is what we call the camera element. It has a switch here made out of black diamond that basically transfers its user into an encrypted communication mode. The phone was launched 2 years ago, still being sold till day, even though it runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 810. It has a 24 megapixel SLR-like quality camera, 12 megapixel wide-angle selfie camera. We really incorporated what used to be top technologies back in May 2016. Yeah. However, technology is bound to the laws of Moore. The GPU and the computing processor accelerates double its quality every 18 months, and wrapping technology that becomes redundant after a year with these very exquisite materials is it's not necessarily a thing that would be, I would say, hitting the mass market or even hitting a small niche of really fanatic people who can own such a luxurious product.
Right.
So we realized that, you know, it's going to be hard to scale with a $15,000 secured phone.
Sure.
And the company was, you know, and still had the initial team, which was mainly engineers, software developers, hardware professionals, and cybersecurity. And, you know, thank God to all of us, we were all big crypto enthusiasts here.
Yeah.
You know, we've been following the first Bitcoin transfer, you know, actually introducing blockchain technology mainly to the world for the first time. Then 2014, Ethereum Foundation. I remember having the Ethereum tab opened on my computer for almost a week, and I never moved and made an investment there.
Yeah.
I said it to a friend of mine. He studied math and physics, and I told him, hey, his name is Leon. Leon, check this out. He made an investment of $5,000 back then.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
So, well, I you know, it hurts, but not that much. I'm happy for my friend as well.
Sure, absolutely.
So when we realized a year ago that, you know, Silurian, we're not going to do a second production of the product,
right.
We thought what kind of pains or problems we can address with the knowledge base that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a match made in heaven, understanding that, you know, everybody now in the world talks about cryptocurrencies and decentralized philosophies and services and blockchain technologies. Right. But it's still considered to be the domain of the few. It still didn't hit what we call the mainstream, the mass market. Right. And we try to understand why everybody talks about it, but only a few people are engaging with it. Mm-hmm. And we identify two main problems in this space. Obviously, one is the security. It's the first time in history where people get to keep their own assets in their computers, in their hardware, wallets, etc. And you know, if you lose, if you get hacked or phished or even socially engineered, you have no one to talk to, you lose everything. Yeah. And the other problem obviously was the user experience. I mean, I say it a lot. Tell your mom to buy her first Ether, or if your mom would ask you how she can buy her first cryptocurrency, you know that you're going to be spending a lot of hours trying to explain somebody who wouldn't necessarily understand. So we realized that the most common device in the world right now is a mobile phone. There's more mobile phones in the world than people. There are 8 billion mobile phones, 7.7 billion people in this world, and only 4 billion toothbrushes. So
well, that's an interesting statistic.
People prefer to wash. I think, you know, first thing you should do when you wake up is wash your teeth, not go over your phone and see who's been trying to reach you out overnight.
Exactly. Check Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically this led us to the conclusion that we are the best team to basically try and come up with the solution for this space, with the vision of bridging the gap between the blockchain economy and the mass market. And this is where we generated the FINNEY and the SIRIN OS idea. We have a team right now of 70 professionals, mainly engineers, software, hardware, a lot of cybersecurity coming from the Israeli Defense Force as well. And you know, with the team, with the right team, you can do anything.
Sure.
So we worked on our crowd sale for almost 6 months, securing the pre-sale, the big investors, building everything that we could in order to deliver our vision mission out there, worked in many, many languages in order to try and get as much as possible reach to people around the world, resulting in on December 26, 2017, with the fourth largest ICO, raising $157.8 million. securing Lionel Messi. The famous Lionel Messi is our brand ambassador.
Yeah. He's doing a commercial, right?
Yeah, we did a commercial already.
Yeah,
Actually, the commercial has been filmed in Barcelona last February. And we'll be sharing behind the scenes very soon, hopefully this week.
Awesome. That's pretty big to have a big name like that backing your product. I mean, there's people all the time trying to shill ICOs and stuff, but actually, a person that is probably going to have one of the phones, going to use it, and that's going to go a long way.
I think when we try to understand everything that we're trying to bring out to the market, we're trying. For us, the most important thing is, and I remember talking with the team, listen, guys, we're doing 40 pages of white paper, translating it into 6 languages.
Right.
We have one thing to do. Make sure that every single word that you put in the white paper, you would be able to deliver. Otherwise, don't write it.
Sure.
I mean, it's always better to underpromise and oversell.
Absolutely.
So since we concluded the ICO, we shot domestic commercials, we secured the manufacturer. I mean, there are only 100 companies in the world that still now developed a mobile phone. We're a small company out of Israel that already made a secured phone. And now we jumped into the pool of the big players. We signed a deal with Foxconn International Holding. Foxconn.
Right. They make the iPhone and the Galaxy and those. That's big.
Yes.
That's big for a small company of your size compared to these big fish out there. For you guys to have, a contract with them, I mean, who can say that?
So obviously there are some big players, and now there's SIRIN Labs that can say that we secured the manufacturer. Actually, we already released some of the elements coming from the production line. We shared with our community how the screen is going to look. The screen sizing, it's 6-inch Gorilla Glass edge-to-edge screen. Mm-hmm. We shared a teaser of the side panels, and this all would conclude, I want to say, around first week of July, when we're going to be revealing the phone for the first time.
Awesome. That's just right around the corner.
Yes. And, it was very hard for us to hodl the release of the design because it has a wow factor. Mm-hmm. Which I can't disclose right now. You need to be patient. I don't know if you're coming to next week to the Tokyo blockchain event. You will see the mock-ups if you're going to be there.
Oh, I wish I could be there. Tokyo's a far away from home for me.
And basically, the next big milestone is finally unveiling the FINNEY and how it's going to look. We're going to be having by the end of July already working prototypes.
Awesome.
But this is for internal studies.
Sure.
And we're now very, very zoomed and focused on basically doing the product launch, securing partnerships in order to bring the best of the blockchain realms into our decentralized application store that's going to be installed over the phone. We're talking with many mobile carriers, operators, OEMs, resellers, distributors, wholesalers. A lot of great news are coming out, including big partnerships that I can't disclose it, like mega partnerships. Wow. We already announced our partnership with Cardano, as you know.
Yeah.
We had the honor of having Charles here in our office for a very thought-provoking conversation. Amazing guy.
That's awesome.
And we are now working very, very hard to prepare the launch, to open the shops, the initial SIRIN Labs shops. We plan to open in Seoul and Tokyo. We have the shop of the SIRIN Labs in London, so we need now to redesign it to meet with the new branding and the new target audience that we're addressing.
So you want to have a retail store available in these main cities?
Yes, basically the idea behind the store is beside the fact that it's going to be a place where you're going to be physically engaging with the product. We want to make them like educational centers. We want to have it's a lab. So basically we want to have scientists, telling people about the greatness of blockchain, letting them understand who's against who, what are the key strong suits of blockchain, onboarding them on the product if they come to purchase it. It's an experiential center basically that we are working on. Initially, we're going to open shops in Seoul, in Tokyo, in New York, London, and not sure if it's going to be either Moscow or Vietnam this year. And then to follow other cities. We are now signing. We'll share the news very soon, but we're signing with resellers in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and many other locations around the world. But once we're going to have the official news, then I will share them with the community. And it's crazy. It's basically, bringing a new product to the market where there's a big hype and going on one hand, but on the other hand, we're still in the very chaotic period of blockchain.
Sure.
I think, there's a lot of noise and out of this chaos, there's a saying that comes order. We're still in the early days, and I believe that this is going to be 2018, 2019 are going to be amazing years where people are going to be, I want to say, almost see the light as we did.
Right. Yeah. Definitely game changer years.
Yes. So, regulators around the world are finally coming in peace with themselves in terms of figuring out what's a security token, a utility token, an equity. New blockchain protocols are emerging to resolve the early day protocol maladies, scalability, and so on, and security and other things that will help basically make blockchain not only on a theoretical speculative level. Currently the main usage is token trading, is fundraising, and is what we don't like to disclose, mischievous usage, based on the anonymity. Definitely, I think these are going to be very exciting years, and I believe that SIRIN Labs is in the right time, at the right place, with the right product. It's going to be an amazing platform that's going to accessify all these great features out to the mass market.
That's incredible. Lots of good news coming out of SIRIN Labs. Tell me a little bit about the SRN token and how that's going to be used within the system. Are you guys going to have your own blockchain? And is that going to be what primarily the FINNEY runs off of? And tell me a little bit about that.
So basically, the SRN is a utility token. It's currently traded in some very distinguished exchanges such as Bittrex. And just last week, we've listed, actually not we, Upbit, the Korean, the biggest Korean exchange, paired the SRN with the local currency.
I saw that news,
which is a big thing for us. So going back, the SRN currently is an ERC20 token used as a utility token, enabling anyone who uses it basically to do anything within the ecosystem of SIRIN Labs, from purchasing the product. The product is now, I want to say, the price of the FINNEY is now around $1,000, and it's going to be, the SRN is going to, the product is going to be pegged to dollars. So no matter where the token would be, you can still buy it with the SRN, which will be the equivalent that day for the dollar price.
Cool.
Beside utilizing it for purchasing our products, you'll be able to enjoy the different services that we're going to be launching over the blockchain network that we are going to be releasing in stage 2. Answering your question, whether it's going to be our own blockchain or not, TBD. We're reviewing different protocols right now. very interesting ones. Some we disclosed already. We've been in close relationship with IOTA. We've been working with the Cardano team. There are other companies that I don't know if you're familiar with Orbs that we've been reviewing and more to come.
Sure.
Either we're going to be using what we would believe is the best fit for our ecosystem, or we will be eventually deploying our own blockchain. The idea is to release an SDK to enable easy development of different decentralized applications to be launched through the FINNEY phones, and they will all use the SIRIN token, the SRN. Yeah. It's also what I would like to call, and maybe it's not very humble, but it should be the token of all token within the SIRIN, within the FINNEY phone. So imagine that the FINNEY would have, all the essentials of a Google Android phone, including the Google Play. You will be able to use any kind of app that you've been using until now, but it will also have a decentralized apps, and decentralized apps run mainly on their own tokens. If you want to, I don't know, I'm just naming now. Okay, don't take it. If you have a G Nation, which is a gaming company, installed, the Mobile Go token needs to be used. You need the MGO to use it. But when you have an Uber-like company running alongside this, and you want to get your Uber coin right now, basically we want to enable you a very easy, seamless, and almost automatic conversion between these tokens, because nobody has.
You guys are working on a conversion kit, right?
The conversion kit, actually, we had a very nice presentation today about the entire physics behind it and business cases around it, and that's about the SIRIN token. Trying to understand, I'm trying to think if there are other great things that I can share. We've been working a lot on trying to fit the SIRIN Labs brand into the new, I would say, target audience that are prospectus and potential clients. We learned out that in the US, there are 8% out of the Americans that already have a cryptocurrency.
Wow. Yeah, that's big. Yeah.
It's 25 million Americans who has either Ether or Bitcoin or any other kind of coin. And when we try to realize in this huge group of people, what are the main, I would say, characteristics of them, we realized that we're talking about millennials.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we needed to bring a brand that, to build a brand that would make the right, I would say, emotional engagement and representation of what we do. Sure. I can share, I don't know if the camera would captivate it well. So we'll build this whole new language that should communicate that there's an evolution in this world, or a revolution, and, but not from a powerful side, more from hey, we have an opportunity to change the world. So I don't know if you saw it, we invite people to dive into crypto.
Oh, that's awesome.
And not forget that it's a dawn of a new era.
Love it.
And it's up to us, the reference for Messi, I don't know if it's a football player.
I see that. Yeah.
And we are, the power is in our hands. So,
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. They're holding up the
FINNEY phone. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
So we're trying to, bring out an outstanding experience in every touch point that we have, or any meeting point that we have with our audience. So
you have the FINNEY phone. SIRIN Labs is also developing a desktop computer, a centralized computer.
So basically, So we're doing a thin client practices for the desktop computer. It's not going to be in work. It's already in work, but it's not going to be launched until 2019. Unlike the FINNEY, it's going to be launched towards the end of the year. Gotcha. And basically, the idea of the desktop computer is to enable peer-to-peer resource sharing. So you wouldn't need every 2 years to replace a GPU or a CPU. The idea is that you will have the ability to transfer computational power and many other great features on peer-to-peer P2P protocols.
And you can earn SRN tokens by sharing your resources
as well. as well. So
That's great.
basically what we're doing right now, we're doing a lot of studying in order to understand what are the best use cases that would really be fundamental for people that are going to be using our products, obviously. We know that battery, we know that connectivity, we know that computational power are key things that everybody's looking for. I know that people now running on low battery can get almost severe heart attacks or or severe stress problems. So basically, we're trying to come with a lot of different kinds of very cool and unique solutions.
And that technology is going to be used for the FINNEY phone, sharing resources, sharing battery life, earning SRN tokens, as well as the desktop. And I'm sure you guys have other things in the mix, and you're going to be developing other types of maybe hardware, software in the future.
So the hardware we basically showcase two products that we will develop on our own, but the entire idea, when you try to understand what is SIRIN Labs all about, SIRIN Labs is a trinity. So you have the SIRIN Labs brand, which is basically the facilitator for everything. You have the FINNEY, which is the product line that we're in charge of. But you have the SIRIN OS, which is something that obviously, SIRIN OS is the heart, is basically it's the engine of everything that we do here. And the idea behind what we do here is to enable other original equipment manufacturers to take the SIRIN OS and implement, and very easily implement it within their own device. Basically, the entire project is an open source project. So we're going to be sharing all the codes and including the form factors. So anybody who wants to incorporate a cold storage crypto wallet within his phone and he would use the SIRIN OS, he will have the ingredients on how to do it, as long as they're going to be using the SRN token.
Sure.
So
that means that anybody like Samsung could take that and use it in their phones. The HTC. Now I know HTC might be working on their own blockchain phone supposedly right now, but hypothetically they could take the SIRIN OS and use it on their device to facilitate all that blockchain, technology.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
You got it right.
That's incredible. That's awesome.
It's we've been learning a lot about how basically Android was introduced to the world. And I don't know if you remember, but back in the days, in order for Google to tell the world that and showcase the greatness of the Android operating system, what they did is they launched their own flagship product. It was the G1, the Nexus. It was a Google-owned phone. Everybody saw that Google is running its own operating system. That was the Android. People really liked the easiness of use and the offering behind the Android operating system, and then it was picked up by Samsung and HTC and all the other manufacturers, and now I think it's 90% world domination. So this is basically what we did is we took the Google model of Android and we tried to implement it on our own product to showcase what we do, and then obviously I believe it would be very highly accepted by the community, and then it would be more and more implemented and adopted by many other great companies.
Now I heard some people saying, well, it's built on the Android OS, but you're still using your SIRIN OS integrated into that.
Yes.
What's the difference? I heard one person say it's a forked version. We're forking everything. Yes. It's a forked version of the Android, just more secure, encrypted. Can you kind of expound just briefly on that?
So basically it's true. We are partnered with Google, and we have obviously in order to implement an Android operating system, you need to have a certified Google partner for it. And I don't want to go into too many technical details or disclose too many things, but basically it's taking the Android and maybe putting a Teflon or a shield or a dome around it, and
Gotcha.
then implementing other elements, for example, the DApp store and the wallet features that are needed there in order to run very secured protocols, and also to run very unique features in terms of cyber protection of the user. There are so many surfaces of attacks right now on people without knowing whether you're going to be, for example, getting, I don't know if you're familiar even with the term of silent SMS, for example. When somebody, there are hackers today, when they want to know where you are, they can send you a silent SMS, meaning your device would get a message without you even knowing, and then they can locate your location. So basically we're coming with, and I don't want to scare too many people. Sure. We should sleep very peacefully.
Right.
But basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to seal the device any way possible. Main sealing is going to be on the cold storage wallet, obviously, stripping it from all communication when not in use. But one thing we can't really secure, we can try and help is when somebody's going to be socially engineered. Sure. If you decide to give a beautiful girl or a nice boy or your private keys, then it's not necessarily us that can help you lose your assets. So I hope it answers what's the relationship between SIRIN OS and Android. We use a lot the forked Android term here because it's a fork is a very popular term.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's good. So where can the community get a hold of you guys and gain a little better understanding? Maybe hear the latest announcements. What platforms are you on? What's the best way?
So real time, everything everything that we communicate goes in real time through our Telegram channels. Basically, we have a general Telegram channel where we welcome everybody. I think there are about 12,500 people already there. But we also, alongside of it, we manage a Telegram announcement group, which is it's a unilateral communication channel for us. Basically, we streamline the announcements there. We share with the community once a week a newsletter for everybody who's registered on the newsletter through our website. We try to work also localized because it's not fair, you speak English, you're a native English speaker. I'm breaking my teeth, but I do understand English. However, there are a lot of people that doesn't find English as a very, I would say, easy language for them to communicate. So we run dedicated Japanese Telegram group and Korean. We are also bound on on understanding what are, let's take cultural and local meeting places. So let's take Korea, for example. There's Kakao. We're very active on Kakao. Facebook, Twitter are great places to get news beats coming from SIRIN Labs. We also manage an Instagram, LinkedIn, Bitcoin Talk, Reddit, GitHub, where we share our code.
Everywhere.
It's a very broad parameter, but the main channels are one. I invite everybody to register to our newsletter and join our Telegram groups. This is where you can get the latest. We have an amazing team of moderators, 24/7, very professional, and we try to answer everything that we can. Obviously, please, anyone who joins, we ask him nicely to refrain from fudding. Sure. And we try to keep a very positive tone of voice there. I see that the sentiment is very good as well, even though our token has been going up and down and hitting.
As everything has, right?
Yes, the general sentiment is very positive, and I hope to grow the community and bring this great vision of SIRIN Labs as soon as possible and in the best way we can.
That's awesome. I've seen a couple of your AMAs, your lives on Facebook, and you're doing a great job, man. So I appreciate all the hard work you're putting into this company. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on Crypt Chronicles and chat and, shoot the breeze with me and talk a little bit about SIRIN Labs. And I'm really excited for what's coming forward with this company. It's not just a crypto company. It's also a technology company, and it's going to be allowing crypto to integrate with everybody on a very simple user base. Cell phones, everybody has a cell phone. So that's one thing that you guys definitely have above the rest. And again, man, I appreciate you taking the time out for interviewing with me.
My pleasure, and I appreciate you taking the time as well. I mean, we're so far away, and still we seem to be very close. So
isn't that amazing? Technology, huh? That's awesome. Well, if you ever need anything, ever need any announcements pushed, you can definitely count on Crypt Chronicles TV. My name's Mark, guys. I appreciate you all staying with us. Make sure you click subscribe. I'll put all the links to SIRIN Labs and all that information in the description. Until the next video, guys, stay freaking awesome, and we'll see you all later. Thanks a lot, Nimrod. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mark. Bye-bye.
Okay, bud. See ya.